This is one in a series of demos that depict the kinds of business solutions enabled by Longhorn Technologies across a variety of industries. This demo focuses on the financial services industry, and we'll take a look specifically at loan syndication and banking. In financial services in general, there's strong support for the core business processes in banking, capital markets, and insurance, for example, but where the inefficiencies remain are often in the gaps between those automated systems, usually wherever people need to make decisions and collaborate, especially when that collaboration spans organizational boundaries. As we step through loan syndication in this demo, I hope you see analogies to a lot of other areas in financial services, like new equity issuance or bond research or reinsurance. They share some common technology challenges in their need to coordinate identity across organizations, even when groups are forming sometimes ad hoc, in their need to reliably and securely exchange structured information with one another, and in their need to easily integrate with a variety of upstream and downstream systems. From an architectural perspective, this demo focuses on WinFS, Indigo, and fundamentals. WinFS for the organization, search, and filtering of documents, as well as for the management of groups of people. Indigo for secure, reliable message exchange as people are bidding on portions of loans. And fundamentals for the ease of deployment and security around distributing software in support of peer-to-peer transactions. Let's start by logging in as Jeff Henshaw, who's going to be the lead manager for the loan syndication in our demo. He's going to go through some basic steps in syndicating a loan, one of which will be verifying the identity of the partners he's working with. He'll then organize information to be exchanged with those partners. He'll syndicate the loan that he's offering, and then he'll view other people's loans that match his investment criteria. We'll end by having him actually get a committed allocation for another person's syndicated loan. So first, Jeff is going to get an email notification from Lisa Jacobson, who's a person that he had met at a conference the other day, who's asking him to follow up on a funding proposal for a factory that she's building. Even in these first exchanges, you'll see part of Longhorn's new identity system. As Jeff replies to the email with an attached funding proposal, he includes in the email an information card. In this case, he's choosing his business profile to include in his response. The information card is a new concept from the identity system in Longhorn. Its main function is to allow you to securely and confidently recognize the identities that are outside your system. Beyond a basic display name, the information card provides a unique identifier for people in organizations and allows them to choose exactly what data they want to share. That was the profile selection that we saw. In addition, there's a public key certificate that's included that's either a self-signed certificate that's part of your local Windows login, or it can be issued as part of your Active Directory domain account. Finally, it specifies a policy for the way that people and applications can use this information. We'll see more on that later. So back to the demo, we're replying to Lisa with an attached funding proposal and have asked her to complete some information before we get started with the loan. Now, because this is a demo, she replies immediately, and we get an email notification saying that she's completed the requested form. Just as a byproduct of these back and forth exchanges with Lisa, Jeff has increasing confidence that Lisa is the person that she says she is. And that's primarily because the identity system would flag any case where a communication was signed with a certificate other than the one that Jeff had cached as part of her information card. When you save an information card, it becomes part of the contact entry in WinFS for that person. So in this case, we're looking at the contact details page for Lisa and can see that she's got a digital certificate associated with her contact, as well as the basic profile information that she had included in her information card. So now that we have a funding proposal term sheet digitally signed by a known, trusted, verified identity with the Longhorn identity system, let's get started with the actual loan syndication. We'll use this application to participate in a peer-to-peer exchange of loan syndication opportunities, all exchanged over Indigo. But first, let's take a look at all the correspondence and term sheets from Lisa using the standard contact picker. The application uses a standard system dialog to pick Lisa, in this case using fast filtered search to get to her name quickly, but then presents the entire collection of correspondence and emails related to Lisa in a customized view. So for example, in this case, we see the balance sheet, income statement, funding proposal, term sheet, all the documents that are related to the task of loan syndication presented in a customized view that's enabled by the application's knowledge of WinFS schema extensions on those documents. But we can also pivot by document type. So let's take a look at all term sheets, for example, and let's further filter down to only those term sheets that represent deals that are greater than or equal to $100 million. So the application is using a WinFS schema extension to provide additional metadata that makes it easy to filter and organize the documents. In addition, that same custom metadata drives the tasks shown in the upper right. So in this case, we've highlighted a term sheet, the Fabricam term sheet, and we're going to use the syndicate task to put it out for consideration among our partners. We select the contacts by using the same contact picker dialog that we did before, but this time we'll use it to pick a group of people rather than an individual. And we have a group called Preferred Partners that is simply the equivalent of a folder of contacts in WinFS. So now Jeff, as the lead manager on the loan, has published his deal to Preferred Partners. They see it appear as the top line item in this dynamic list of available loans for syndication. In addition to syndicating this loan, Jeff wants to diversify his portfolio by participating in others. And here he's modifying his investment profile to broaden his geographic interest. So he's including the other regions in the United States as well as the entire country of Spain. And that profile is stored locally on his machine and is used as the filter on this Indigo message bus of loan offerings, so that he's getting live updates of those deals among his partners that meet his investment criteria. That's a key point for this new class of process-centric applications, where our integration with partners doesn't require as a first step that we all agree on some shared server, but rather we can keep our confidential data stored locally and have the client actually use that local data as part of an integrated process. As an example, we now see a Spanish loan that meets our new investment profile. Let's expand that using Avalon's easy reflow capabilities to see the details of the Contoso offering. The offering looks good to Jeff, and he decides he'd like to submit an indication of interest, which is just asking the loan manager in Spain for a certain allotment of that loan. So here he uses the task area on the upper right to submit an indication of interest, and he completes a request that includes 4 million euros with a settlement method of SWIFT, and with the requirement that he either wants his whole bid or none of the bid. All of this is using Indigo's reliable transacted messaging to do substantial financial commitments peer-to-peer. Jeff receives a notification that his requested amount was allocated to him, and you'll note that the notification is similar to the email notification. One of the things that Longhorn provides is a consistent common notification pipeline that allows users to control the way in which notifications are delivered. So now when he clicks the notification, he's taken again to the detail for the loan and given the option to accept the allocated amount. This is an example of kind of long-running two-phase commit transactions, all facilitated with Indigo's reliable, secure, transacted messaging. Finally, after committing to the loan, he's given the option to book it directly from the client application, which leverages Indigo's web services interoperability with all the back-end systems that he needs to communicate with. So we've really focused on Indigo, but let's take a brief look at the way Avalon helps out as well. Here is the same application localized for Spain. Avalon helps with the localization primarily in two ways. One, with its reflow capabilities, and two, with its deployment time customizations possible via property sheets. The reflow helps with variable length strings that are typical in localization. So for example, the upper left, which used to have in English just simply pipeline, is now préstamos en trámite, and that's a much longer string that would be hard to lay out typically. And for customizations beyond simply reflowing text, like changing colors and background graphics and overall layout of the application for that locale, you can use Avalon property sheets, which enable you at deployment time to customize the app using the same binary executables. So as a quick recap of the steps we went through, we used the identity system in Longhorn to verify our partners. Then we used WinFS storage to organize the information to be exchanged. We syndicated the loan and viewed matching offerings using Indigo's secure, reliable, transacted message bus. And then we used the web services interoperability of Indigo to actually interface with the back-end systems to commit the allocation that we received for the loan. So this is one example of really a new class of business application that focuses on supporting an end-to-end business process across different systems, different departments, different organizations, operating peer-to-peer across trust domains and with great interoperability with a variety of systems using web service standards. This scenario was banking specific, focused on loan syndication, but hopefully you'll see the analogies in capital markets and insurance, like for new equity issuance and bond research and reinsurance. My name's Carter Maslin, and I want you to be a Longhorn evangelist, so don't hesitate to contact me. Have fun.